Welcome to INNOV-8 Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. Today we're delighted to have our guest, Jaime Chambron, who is a career advancement and a personal branding expert. I like the career advancement. It's something that we're going to talk about more. Jaime, thank you for joining us today. And, Entrepreneurs in Tech, could you please introduce yourself or start by introducing yourself for our audience and provide us a little bit of insights and background before we dive into it? I'm sure it's going to be extremely insightful and informative.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thanks for having me today. So Jaime Chambron. I actually spent over 20 years working for other tech companies, from Fortune 50 to blockchain startups. I've been kind of all over the tech space, mainly B2B tech companies. Worked my way from being a programmer out of Harvard to leadership roles. And then over time, I started to think about what was next, my second act, wanting to just kind of move along to something different, be it burnout, be it you name it. And I thought and honed in on what I really love about what I do. And so now I'm a coach and a branding consultant for others, be it individuals or those starting on their own entrepreneurial journey and how to communicate and package what their values are.
Interesting. Before we dive into that, all this entrepreneurship, and everybody wants to climb the ladder, everybody wants growth, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, success. What drew you into the tech leadership? Because you came from a tech industry also.
Yeah, so I knew early on programming wasn't going to be my long-term career. I knew, and back from growing up, I was always I always took charge. I was a leader. I was like, let's go make this happen. That's a great idea. I can corral the troops. I can lead people. So I just naturally gravitated to where my strengths were within the corporate setting. And I had great mentors. I had great people who would help me navigate to the right move, or get me exposed to the right people, get me exposed to the right opportunities, to new projects that grew my capabilities. And so I just moved along, and I always advocated for myself of what I wanted next when I saw an opportunity to move forward.
Interesting. And climbing the ladder, obviously you learned a lot of, I would say, lessons in your early corporate roles.
Yes. From understanding how to communicate, the political navigation, right? Those are the kinds of things you've got to learn and be savvy on. Because there's more than just what you do. It's the influence, it's the rallying people together. Everyone's got different opinions. Everyone's got different motivations of what they're doing as well. So you've got to navigate all that piece of the equation.
Amazing. I'm sure, with your background and your, I would say, your history, being from tech to corporate, kind of the amount of information and knowledge that you gathered to help others, it really came very handy to you.
Yes.
Especially, there's a big, I would say, flux of women in tech right now, and leadership in tech, in both, and entrepreneurship in the tech. So really three things: in corporate and entrepreneurship. And how do you communicate to that, and what's your thoughts about it?
Yeah. So I think today the environment is much more friendly to either women wanting a role in tech or tech leadership, women wanting to start tech companies. I just think it's more welcoming. Though there's still, and I actually just saw this, someone posted this on LinkedIn today, that there's still a little bit of a double standard of what a female needs to look like to
think?
To move ahead, to build a business, so there's a lot of that going on. So that's just a piece of the equation we have to continue to navigate of, how we present ourselves in the marketplace, inside in corporate, and being able to do what we're best at doing.
Interesting to say that. I thought my thinking was, no longer anybody looks at that anymore. Everybody looks at the end results. Oh, what do you got to offer? What do you bring into the table? What technology? What makes you different? What your product kind of differentiate from other products in the market out there. I thought the focus is now narrowed more on the product itself and the end results, not on the person. It's what can you do, what can you bring.
It's probably 90% the results and 10% still the person at the
Okay.
helm. And their perception. Why I do a lot of work in branding, right? Because that's your brand. Be it the brand online, it's your physical brand, right? There's a lot of that you've
Got
got
it.
to weave together to get people to buy into your business, to buy into your story, right? The story that's going to get someone that wants to do business with you.
Well, as a mentor and a speaker, and also helping people to navigate and to find their path in this, I would say, a world of entrepreneurial world right now. Number one, because of AI. AI opened the doors to many people. It doesn't matter what gender,
Right.
what part of the world you're in. It opened the doors to everybody with ideas and knowledge. And there is a struggle I see right now because everybody fighting to the top because only the best will rise. There was so much noise about AI, but now it's more like, okay, what makes a difference? What's better? And yes, there's a lot of overworked. Back in the day, they used to call it yuppie flu. Now burnout. So tell us some of the do's and don'ts and some of the challenges a lot of these entrepreneurs are facing today in a world of AI where everybody's saying, okay, is it better to be in corporate or should
Yeah.
I go
Yeah.
solo and do my own thing?
So, no matter if you're in corporate or solo, I think the first thing is to figure out what your boundaries are, where you say yes, where you say no, because you could do that in either setting. And I think one of the problems most of us face is not being able to say no, no matter what situation you're in. So I think it's grounding yourself first of what are your boundaries, and then what is it you really want. I see now that I'm in kind of that middle stage of my career. We go through different phases in life, and there's certain phases where you're going to have the energy and want to be that big executive running a large team, and then there's be that point where you need more flexibility in just kind of where you are situationally. And so the next thing is you really need to hone in on what do you need right now or going into the next few years. Is it really, are you in the wealth building stage, or are you in the I'm looking to do my passion project, or I need a lot more flexibility? And so I think those are the things you got to think through before deciding, because even if you go in and do the leap into running your own business going solo, you're the one man shop potentially, or the one gal shop until you've got some traction under you. Also, don't think you have to do it all yourself. Even as myself as a solopreneur and others, we're going to have ecosystems of freelancers working with us. So don't feel like you need to be the expert in AI to get something done with respect to like how AI improves your business or improves what you deliver. Go find a freelancer to bring that knowledge in house, to build a system with AI that's going to, accelerate your business growth or get you into a new marketplace or get you somewhere to differentiate yourself. So those are the things I would be thinking about. You don't have the bandwidth to do everything. So, and then the other piece business people talk a lot about is, what are you really great at? What's your zone of genius? And can you do that on the job today? Great. If you're not, can you do that working for yourself, and will people pay you to do that in some sort of capacity? So that's the other thing I would be thinking about is like, what do you gravitate towards that you're beyond excellent, like you're the expert in, that people would pay you for in that area?
Interesting. Earlier in the conversation, we talked about, AI opened the doors for everybody, and there's so much entrepreneurial ideas, entrepreneurship, and all of that just flooded. Now, also, AI brought in a lot of panic. There's always noise and panic and negative news out there. Some of it is correct. Some of it will happen later, not now. Some of it on its way. And you know what I'm talking about. As AI, I would say the big elephant in
Right.
the room, the big monster, is here. And is here to hunt you, to take your job, to take everything. Doesn't matter how long you've been in school, how many books you read and wrote and all of that. AI is here, smarter than you. the panic. And I'm sure you face a lot of panic right now from executives, from people been in corporates, people who are independently have their own businesses. How do you deal with that? And what's your advice? And what's the best path
Yeah.
to take towards that? Because it's the inevitable. It's
Yeah.
happened.
So it's that
happening. Excuse me.
mindset shift of you have to embrace it. You have to figure out not how it's going to replace you, but how you need to evolve with AI, be it you as a business leader, be it you in corporate. How do you evolve where AI lets you do 10 times the amount of productivity? Maybe you begin to morph what you focus on, again, back to that, whether you're the expert in, that AI is never going to take away. AI is not going to take away the people-to-people skills, right? There's certain skills we already know, the deep critical, innovative problem solving. There's just certain things AI, at least not today, has the EQ or the IQ to do things. So focus on, instead, where can AI, it's kind of like when all the workflow automation productivity tools came out over the years. How can that accelerate what you do, enable you to be 10, 20x more productive, and then focus on the things AI is not going to be able to. AI is not going to be able to, like in certain companies, like the physical. How are you going to repair a robot? Sure, certain things will be, but there's going to be certain things people are going to have to be in. There's still going to need to be customer care. There's still going to need to, people aren't going to want to call AI all the time for help. People want to work with people still. And so you've got to figure out then, where do you focus and where do you let AI accelerate, provide, do the things that you don't need to do anymore.
You said something, and you said, for now, maybe later, would it happen later?
It might. I still think there's going to be a need for people-to-people interaction. There's still things are going to break that no robot AI is going to be able to fix. There's just certain things that we as humans, AI does not have the emotional piece to what we are capable of doing.
And that's a very, very important component that's hard to make. And maybe it might, never say no, never
Right.
say never, you never know.
Right.
But for now,
Right.
for the next 10, maybe 20 years, or that's far, 20 years, 10 years maybe.
At least,
10
well,
years?
and at least the projections now of, five, if you've got someone going into college, navigating, what degrees to get, what careers to pursue. I mean, definitely hands down, we're going to need doctors. We're going to need nurses. We're going to need, again, back to that people-to-people human care. I don't see, even in 20 years, I don't think our generations will want to go to, an AI doctor. I don't think we're going to be there per se. So this is where we're getting smart, especially for young professionals, on careers that interest them, that will be here for a long time. And people now, newer generations, are going to have 3, 4, 5, 7 different careers along the way, is getting used to that as well.
So you're saying once you become emotionless, then that's possible. But now you go to a doctor, a nurse, she put her hand on your forehead, on your cheek, making you feel better. That human touch, that really irreplaceable. It cannot it cannot be manufactured. Yes, amazing. So what you're saying is, because you're also a leader in personal branding, which is very important. So it's how you really perceive and how do you project yourself. Both.
Yep.
You perceive and project yourself. And so in a world where it's a lot of confusion, there's no replacement yet. There is some, but not many at all. I mean, we still depend, we're still in a physical world. Absolutely, in email, automation, certain tasks, yes, it's already happening. But a lot of the major tasks, work, you would save a certain corporate 5 years, 10 years. You're still safe, possibly in certain jobs.
Yeah. Well, and I'll
Absolutely.
even note, so I do one of the pieces of collateral I deliver, because of the branding pieces, I do content for LinkedIn,
Cool.
I do resumes.
Yes.
AI, still, people can tell when AI generated a resume, right? They all kind of look alike, they sound the same, and you've got to get your voice into these materials. So there's still a style for a writer that AI just isn't there. It's not able to produce something completely unique today.
Yeah. I see. I see. I mean, a lot of people use AI. There's no shame
Yep.
of using AI. Yeah, but I would say write it first and let AI fix it for you, maybe, Grammarly or something, and then look at it and do some editing
Right.
yourself. So give the ideas and everything there, let AI, and then give it your own touch again. So this way, it's
Right.
yours. It represents you. Because whatever's there, you're gonna have to open your mouth and talk
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yes, yes, AI not gonna speak for you. So if you're gonna sound different than what the resume is projecting, then we got a problem here. Yes, absolutely. Coaching, speaking. Let's talk about some of your keynote speaking engagements and what's your latest and what have you been up to? Because this whole discussion is all about you, Jamie, and you're a leader in your industry,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you do
So
yes.
I'm actually getting ready. So I do a lot of talks, everything from, honing in on your personal brand, becoming a solopreneur, how to launch yourself as a freelancer or consultant. Um, I do a lot of work because I predominantly use LinkedIn to help with brand awareness, brand authority. I tell people you own your brand. You got to own it. That's what you're going to do to influence people. And then I've got a keynote coming up this weekend to how to basically re-own and rebrand yourself to lean you into having the career you want next. So back to the facing today's burnout, thinking about what's next in your career, rebranding yourself is important. For every move, you've got to lean into what's next, and it's not going to be your brand from yesterday. You really have to rebrand yourself to and own it, to re-own your career, to re-own what it is that you truly enjoy and that you're great at.
I'm sure you get a lot of preneurs come to you and say, Jamie, I'm working hard, I'm trying, and I feel there's a piece missing. I just cannot get over that hump to take me to the next. I know I can. I know I have the knowledge, I have the capability, but I cannot still get over that hump. And I feel, I don't know, everything I do is not helping me. What is missing? How would you help? What's your answers to that? What would you do?
Yeah, no, that is pure, coaching, and it's all about just taking a step back on. Okay, well, let's talk about. You've been doing a lot of things. What do you think is the one thing that is working? What do you think is something that isn't working? What haven't you tried? It's going through this exercise I did a lot in corporate is start, stop, do differently, right? So you're kind of reflecting on, okay, we've been doing all these things for 3 months. This is not moving the needle whatsoever. We just need to shelve it. Okay, great. What have we not even tried yet? Because maybe our problem is we're getting in our own way. We don't have enough bandwidth. Okay, well then have you tried to find a freelancer? So there's a book, Who Not How. So getting used to having more of an ecosystem of people to complement your capabilities. Maybe it's just your message is off. You're not talking to the true pain point and the value you provide. So maybe you're not getting to the right people or decision makers. So you've got to reflect on a lot of different things to get to the crux and the individual having the insight of, oh, that's what's really broken to make progress, right? Or, oh, I never even thought of that before. Maybe I should try that over the next 90 days and see if that helps get me to the next place in my business.
It's funny you said something, you getting in your own way. And is this mostly the cases of a lot of the entrepreneurs or corporate anybody? Actually anybody. You don't have to be in corporate leadership or manage. Could be anybody. Just they want to get better at what they do. They want to accomplish certain goals, and just they feel they cannot just get on it. Like something is holding them back. And could it be there's nothing holding them back? There's no weight. There's nothing. There's no rope and that pulling them back. It's your own self. Could
Yeah.
be.
Well,
Is that the majority of most
it
of the
is. It's
time?
mindset, right? It's I am comfortable doing what I do today, but I have this imposter syndrome of if I try something different, I'm not going to be good at it on day one. So it's like trying to, we're being more visible. I'm not used to being in public's eye. So, and the other thing too is that what got you here won't get you to what's next. And you often don't know how to get to the next place because you've never been to that next place before. So you've got to pull in an expert to coach you through what's holding you back, or to give you that, like, be more of a consultant and give you the steps and the roadmap to get you to the next place.
Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, it seems like you're not a doctor, but it seems like when you go to a doctor, you kind of tell him what the symptoms, and he'll start tracking back what have you done and why, and then let's take a step back and really reassess everything in front of us.
Right.
Interesting. I'm sure you find a lot of joy in helping people and understanding.
Yes, no.
Do you find yourself you becoming a holistic psychologist?
Well, this is where you have to, and you go through this when you become, if you go through coach training in certain places, is you have to know where the coach starts and stops. We like to say we can wear the coaching hat, but you have to take that, if you're getting ready to prescribe something, you got to take the coaching hat off and go, okay, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to be your advisor and consultant today and give you the next steps. We don't ever put, unless you're a degree psychology, I will never go down. That's like, if people come to me where they've had other challenges going on, they need to go see a therapist or someone else. You kind of have to, you have to be really strict and put the guardrails on what you will and won't tackle.
Well, no, we're just talking about in the arena of entrepreneurship, work, leadership, and accomplishing goals and what's holding somebody back or not. Yes, absolutely. And personal branding, obviously, it has a lot to do with it. So, any books coming up?
I actually am working on my first book. It will be How to Make a Career Pivot Mid-Career. So that is underway. No ETA yet, but I finally... Books have been on my radar for a while, but I am, got the outline and I'm working on the chapters. And then I have a colleague of mine who is publishing his first book, and I was interviewed for his book, which is more on different perspective on what tech leaders should be looking at in where they should go in what goes from being a tech leader to being an amazing tech leader, and what businesses need today from tech experts.
This whole discussion been about advice, and I always ask our guests, what's your advice out there for fresh entrepreneurs, all genders, people who want to break into certain things. As you said earlier, sometimes you're afraid if you want to do something outside of the norm or outside of your knowledge, because the first thing come to us human, it doesn't matter myself. I come across it all the time that to do something new and different, what's the first thing? Fear. Why? Of failing, of sounding like an idiot, or looking like an idiot, or I don't know what I'm talking about. Embarrassing yourself. And as older you get, embarrassment doesn't become that overlooked within your own self. It's not like, it doesn't matter. As you get older, it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm too old for this. What's your advice?
So the biggest thing, if you are getting started, is look at who you know, because your first initial client or three, your beta client, your alpha client, are probably people you already know. So figure out what problem you're trying to solve, what you're wanting to do in starting your business, and go find 1 to 3 clients from who you already know, and talk. Even if they don't want to be a client of yours, talk to them about what you're looking to do, the problem you're solving, the value you're looking to provide. And you're going to learn a lot from them, because maybe they weren't the right person, but they might refer you to someone who has the same problem you're looking to solve.
Absolutely. Great. And anything to be in lookout for in the next, I would say, for this year, because we're already in September. So anything to look out from now till towards the end of the year, 2025?
Right now, it's focusing in, and what a lot of people are starting to do is planning for 26, right? We're trying to go through what worked this year, what wasn't working, budgeting for next year, like where are you investing your dollars? But I'm focusing on, getting my book project underway and getting that out the door as soon as possible.
Well, pivoting your career. Again, what's the title of the book?
It's all around. It's not finalized yet, but it's going to be career pivots for mid to late career professionals.
Career pivots. We'll be on the lookout for it. You heard it first here, and entrepreneurs in tech. Jamie. Jamie, it was a pleasure having you on the show. Really enjoyed it. Very insightful and motivating. And I love talking to people like yourself. First of all, it's always bring a different perspective on life and what to do. It doesn't matter if you're, as you said, middle-aged corporate person or you're a starting entrepreneur. It's always such advice is extremely important and also motivating. And obviously, as an entrepreneur or anyone, you always need any help that you can to get you off to your next step. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for coming, and make sure to connect with us on social media. Until next time, keep innovating, stay curious, and think outside the box. And take care, and have a great day.
Thanks, Bob.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share INNOV-8 Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech podcast. And if you're joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.